The goal is to release traders. The goal is to not be the trader. The goal is to let your plan be the trader and you be the observer. That's the goal. You have to get yourself out of the way of your plan. You have to stop meddling with the plan. And that is very difficult because of the ego. You see, the ego, the plan is the antithesis of the ego. The plan is a replacement for the ego, and the ego does not want to be replaced. And so this is why delusion exists in a very big way amongst traders who have not let their ego go yet, because the ego can make you be blind to things like you can do the same thing over and over again with bad results, but not realize that what you're doing over and over again is producing bad results. The ego is very selective, so it will make you feel super great when something works, but make you be blind to the fact that it only works one time in 10. And so a trader can be deluded by his ego. This is why writing things down, keeping records, journaling is so important, because that truth breaks through the ego's grip on you. When you start to realize after 20 trades, like, whoa, wait a minute. Every time I do this, there's a loss. Maybe I shouldn't do that anymore. And that type of truth in your face breaks through the ego. The ego will latch on to a favorite stock that shouldn't be your favorite stock. And until you write things down, or until you check reality beyond the ego, you might realize that this is a stock you shouldn't touch for a while, even though you like it. The records might show that this is a bad stock for you. So at the base of what your daily struggle is, at the base of the daily struggle is removing yourself from the trading equation. That's at the base of your daily struggle, to allow your plan to become the trader, and that you just simply observe the plan do its job. This does not feel good to the ego. It feels like less exciting withdrawing from the trading equation. See, the ego makes you feel like, well, then what are you for? What's your value in this? You're not important. How can that be right? But what's really amazing about that process is that when you can withdraw yourself from the trading equation and you allow the plan to do the trading, as you observe the plan do the trading, you are reducing the ego's grip on you, and thereby changing yourself. Every time you don't give in to the urge of the ego and you allow the plan to do its job, you weaken the ego. The ego shows up on your left shoulder and whispers in your left ear, and you say, no, my plan says do this. And you do the plan, you have weakened the ego. And if you do that over and over again, the ego gets smaller and smaller and smaller until its influence on you is very little to none. And when that happens, you can't help but be a different individual. An individual who is no longer operating through a filter called the ego. An individual who's no longer a slave or a victim to the whims of something that they can't control called the ego. Someone who's truly become an individual, that which is indivisible. That's what an individual is, being indivisible. The ego divides you, fragments you into warring parts and feelings and urges so that you're always off base. But when you become egoless, you become indivisible, which means that you are now no longer fragment, but rather whole, or to use a religious term, holy, which is nothing more than being whole, unfragmented, no longer split into warring parts and different conflicting urges and thoughts. You are one whole or holy individual. And that's what trading does. It puts you on this extraordinarily deep path toward becoming holy. Isn't that beautiful?